Hi, I'm David Croft. Welcome along to what's going to be a very special day.
Oh god, he's here as well. We just can't get rid of him, can we? Like, he genuinely looks like he's about to participate in some drug deal or something out here. Then again, if we watch on, this segment manages to get even worse.
I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but you tell me the back end is where all the magic is, so I thought I'd better have a sneaky peek.
Tell you what, Crofty, I'm sure you do love looking at a virgin's back end, don't you? Yeah, if you can't tell, I'm going to be milking this joke today. Hey there guys, I'm Will and welcome to FP1, and today we're back with a video you guys have been asking me to do for quite some time now. Back in June we covered HRT, then we covered Lotus, and now we're back to complete the trilogy with a Virgin racing team. All three of these guys entered the sport back in 2010. However, long story short, they're all about as good as Helmut Marko's eyesight. Virgin, in the long run anyway, actually managed to do the best out of these three teams, but it's still a story I want to tell today. Also, I just want to add before we start that the growth on the channel has been utterly phenomenal over the last few days. I just want to welcome all the new subscribers and hope that you're all really enjoying the content. And if you do enjoy the video, do consider dropping a like or subscribe if you haven't already. This sort of thing really kind of helps me out and helps the channel grow even more. And of course, if you do want to let me know what other teams I can cover in this series, then do pop a suggestion down in the comments as well. But anyway, with all that out of the way, let's jump into the Virgin. No, hang on, that sounded wrong, didn't it? That aside, let's talk about Virgin Racing, one of F1's worst teams. So let's start then by going back to 2009, where the world really was a simpler time. People still liked J.K. Rowling, Sebastian Vettel was actually good, and the Brawn GP F1 team had just risen up from the ashes of Honda to take the both drivers and constructors F1 crowns. This incredible feat was mostly down to Ross Brawn, who had bought the Honda outfit when the Japanese manufacturer pulled out of Formula 1 at the end of 2008. But this almost could have turned out very differently. Back when the team's future was about as uncertain as Alex Albon's seat at Red Bull, a man called Richard Branson and his Virgin company were interested in buying out the old Honda outfit. And this of course would never come to fruition, with Virgin eventually sponsoring Brawn through its 2009 campaign. However, those thoughts of owning a Formula 1 team never really went away. As F1 approached its 2010 season, several new teams were set to enter the championship. These of course were Campos Meta, who eventually became HRT, Manor Grand Prix, and Lotus. There were also two other teams that somehow managed to be even worse, and never made it to the grid whatsoever, but that's a whole other video. Richard Branson would end up buying out 80% of that Manor entry I spoke about before, with the team being renamed as Virgin Racing. Joining Branson on his ventures would be John Booth, boss of Manor Motorsport, filling the role as sporting director, as well as Alex Tye as team principal and Graham Loudon as director of racing. Now if you think you feel bad for not knowing any of these names, don't worry. All three of them had little to no F1 experience before this, and weren't really well known in motorsport either. Virgin would get some experience from its technical director Nick Worth. Worth had previously been involved in F1 as the owner of the SimTech team in the early 90s. Only issue here was that team will probably find a spot on this series at some point as well. In terms of drivers, Virgin would snap up ex-Toyota driver Timo Glock, whilst placing rookie and future Formula E champion Lucas Di Grassi in the other car. This, in fairness, was quite a strong lineup. Glock was no slouch and by this point had established a career in Formula 1, while Di Grassi, despite being a pay driver, had shown signs of talent in the junior categories. Virgin's first car, the VR01, also has a bit of a story behind it. By this point in F1, wind tunnel testing had been the standard and most reliable way to design and build the cars. Then Virgin came in and said, yeah, but we don't need that, and so designed and built the cars completely from computer simulations. Fair to say, that went about as well as Valtteri Bottas' 2020 title challenge. Or any of his challenges at this point. Nevertheless, the team managed to build a car in time for pre-season testing. Only problem was, it was slow. Really slow. Combine this with a host of technical difficulties, and it was fair to say that the Virgin Racing team weren't looking like title challengers in 2010. Round 1 of the season rolls around then, and despite confidence that any technical hiccups had been ironed out in testing, the car was still massively off the pace. Glock finished qualifying in Bahrain 7 seconds down from the fastest time, while Di Grassi wasn't able to complete a representative lap whatsoever. But if you think things couldn't get any more embarrassing, well, you'd be wrong. Very quickly it was discovered that Virgin designed their fuel tanks to be too small, meaning the cars couldn't complete a race. And I know it's just a Virgin, we should be considerate given it's their first time. Oh, sorry, I'll stop. This issue wouldn't in fact be fixed until round 5 in Spain, meaning the cars had to race in fuel conservation mode for the first quarter of the championship. And this just really sums up Virgin's 2010 season. Both cars clocked up 17 retirements over the year, resulting in the team finishing the championship in 12th and last place. When you can't even beat the HRTs, then things aren't looking good, are they? 2011 though would be a new year, a chance to start over. Di Grassi would be booted from the team and was replaced by Belgian Jerome D'Ambrosio. but the outfit would continue not to use a wind tunnel for the second season.
I think there's no, coming in as a new team, there's no point trying to do the same business model as somebody like McLaren or Ferrari or Mercedes, because
that worked so well in the first attempt, didn't it? In addition to this, Virgin elected not to run a KERS system on their cars in 2011 either. This was a system that, when deployed, would give the driver a boost over part of a lap. However, the team decided that they knew better and could design a car equally competitive without it. I mean, you can guess what's coming here, but funnily enough, they were about as hopeless as before. The team would finish 12th and last yet again, with a 14th place with D'Ambrosio at the season opening Australian Grand Prix being the best of the year. And even then, that's only because everyone behind him retired. Despite being beaten twice now by the famously incompetent HRT team, Virgin were able to secure funding and new sponsorship in the form of Russian car company Marussia Motors, who would go on to make this thing. Moving on, the team will be rebranded as the Marussia F1 team for the 2012 season. They'd also finally realised that using a wind tunnel, like everybody else, might actually have its benefits, and subsequently struck a deal with McLaren to use theirs for 2012. Glock would sign a new 3-year deal with the team, while his teammate would change again. This time it would be ex-GP2 racer Charles Pic taking D'Ambrosio's seat. This year would prove to be slightly better, with a 12th place at the season closing Brazilian Grand Prix, allowing the team to secure their best finish in the Constructors' Championship, with 11th, meaning they finally beat HRT. Heading into 2013 then, and yet again we'd see another change to the driver lineup. Pic would be replaced by Max Chilton, whilst Timo Glock, despite signing that 3-year deal, would find himself leaving the team. Think the Sergio Perez situation, except nobody really cared in 2013. Anyway, Glock's seat would be taken up by another rookie in Jules Bianchi. The partnership between Chilton and Bianchi worked really well, with the team managing to improve their position in the Constructors' Championship yet again, this time finishing 10th. This positive momentum would carry the team forward with them into 2014, with Bianchi and Chilton being retained by the team. Despite the Marussia car's questionable appearance, Bianchi would be able to secure a 9th place finish at the Monaco Grand Prix, giving the team their first points finish in Formula 1. However, of course, we all know the sad note that we left the 2014 season on. The team would fail to appear for the final race of the 2014 season, with the outfit entering administration soon after. They would be saved, however, as businessman Stefan Fitzpatrick stepped in early 2015. The 2015 season would be a difficult year for Marussia on a number of levels. A new lineup in the form of Will Stevens and Roberto Merri, combined with a car built with little to no budget, led to the team slipping back to last in the constructors' table. Booth and Loudon would resign from their positions, with team politics and disagreements being a major factor in this. However, fortunes would look to change for 2016, with Mercedes stepping in as an engine supplier. The team would go through yet another rebrand, this time back to Manor Racing, and would also take on Mercedes protege Pascal Wehrlein, alongside Rio Haryanto in the second car. Though Wehrlein proved to be quick, scoring a 10th place finish at the Austrian round, the same could not be said about Haryanto. Rio's money soon ran out, leading to him being replaced by Frenchman Esteban Ocon for the second half of the season. And remember, this was before Ocon took a year out and became F1's resident garbage can, meaning the partnership between him and Wehrlein actually had some exciting potential. However, despite running ahead of Sauber in the championship for most of the year, Sauber were able to sneak 2 points at the penultimate round of the season in Brazil. This led to Manor missing out on $30 million in prize money, and thus entering administration once again at the end of 2016. This time the team wouldn't survive, and thus Manor would fall off the grid after 7 years in the championship. And so there ends our retrospective on the Manor F1 team, first starting out as Virgin Racing and being, well, hopeless. But as time went on, the outfit would start to make a name for itself, and honestly, if the team had continued to 2017, I do feel like they would have kept that positive momentum going. For me, the outfit will definitely go down as being one of the worst in the 21st century. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below, and as always, if you do like what you see here, I've got plenty more on the channel and even more to come in the future. So do make sure that you're subscribed for all of that. So that's all from me then. I'll catch you soon with another video, but until then, I'll see you all later.